obey traffic rule, he is somewhere at the traffic light waiting, not even attached to any government, because he's driving a truck. The person just comes and passes while the traffic light is still
red,
showing red.
Yeah,
and the man is there watching that very person.
And it's also a sign, because we have a broader responsibility to do, because I've seen many of us, even men of God, and people who feel that they're on top of the world, they disobey traffic rules.
Politicians,
we've seen that,
officials.
But these ones I'm talking about, it's something that comes once, maybe, in every 10 there will be one violator, or majority of them do violate. But the key thing is, you are carrying passengers. So if anything should happen, what about the lives of your passenger? Because the politician you are looking at, or the person you are looking at, though what the person did is not justifiable, but the person, if anything happens, the person goes in for it alone. But what about your passengers? Situations whereby you are carrying passengers, you are not driving for your own sake, you are driving for those you are carrying. So even if a politician does those things, you should learn not to follow politician because of the people you are carrying. But the point remains that we must set a standard. I've seen police from everywhere, they don't obey traffic. I've seen those who convey money from one bank to the other, they don't obey traffic. I've also seen those carrying corpses, the people that may be exempted, people who are carrying those who are at the point of death, that's conveying emergency, fire, and then those with ambulance conveying sick people, emergency situation. Outside emergency situation, both police, both army, both navy, politicians, and even those taking money, because taking money from one bank to the other is not an emergency. Why can't you stay on the traffic? So we must tighten up some of these things. By the time we set up these institutions, we have been craving for things of this nature, because if you try to disobey it, you will pay a fine. Situations where police trucks are given a fine to pay, army trucks, they are given a fine. Once camera captures you, before you know it, whatever duty post, either you are in the police command or whatever, this team base you are, fine will come there. And so if we begin to make people to pay fine, because if you go out there in some of the countries we admire, you pay fine through your nose. So for those who are staying there, or who live in those areas, they will tell you, I don't want to do this because I'll pay fine. And there's a way system makes them pay those fines. So if you remember that if you do this, you're gonna pay fine, not the kind of fine somebody will bring a private account and ask you, and the way and manner they will go after you. Camera will capture you. Before you know it, it will come to your XMS or whichever means very much formidable to make people pay fine. It will help us in addressing some of these concerns.
Okay, there's another thing we're going to look at regarding what happened yesterday at Chobi Basis. Stay with us to right back. So talking about what happened yesterday regarding the endorsement of the second term bid of Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo. Yesterday we saw all transport operators and the stakeholders who did that very endorsement. And Tony, but I was thinking about what actually happened yesterday, and I was trying to marry it with the complaints I do here on the road, because sometimes you are in the midst of transport operators and they're complaining that the government is doing this to them, government is doing that to them. But yes, they endorsed the same government they are complaining against. So what actually played out?
One thing is this, that you are passing through a particular issue, or you having a problem with your wife, does not mean that your wife is no more your wife, or you won't marry again. You are having issues with your children. It doesn't mean that they are not your children. There are issues that are solvable. There are bad eggs in everything, or every profession, in every system, as we have always maintained. Because if you look at some of these transporters, they are talking about the money government collects, but they have been able to compare. In most times, you educate people If I say or give analysis, they say, why would you even do this? Why do you bring this to this? Why must you say this way? As if you're promoting anybody. I'm aware that even in Enugu State, many of them are complaining of over transactions. What it costs, storage levy, or money for some of the things. If you go there, you will be told what they are paying. The same thing applies to, I don't know about Ebonyi State, it applies to Abia State. I've seen Keke riders, they made a protest in Umuahia, marching to government house. But it doesn't mean that they don't love the governor. They love Governor Alex Oti. But it does not mean that if they have issues with him on transactions, the money that they are paying to the government, that they cannot complain. Making a protest or making a complaint does not necessarily mean that you do not like the governor or you do not love what he's doing.
So that endorsement, is it a plus to the Abgalet government? Because why am I asking this? At the point before the by-election that happened in Anambra State, the one that happened in Onitsha North 1 constituency, and then for Anambra South, I know that some Keke riders also joined in endorsing the candidacy of YPP candidate for Onitsha North constituency election. In fact, they drove all the way from Mwaka to Onitsha here for that very endorsement. They went on a roadshow. At the end of the day, the candidate did not win.
I think most of these people that come or participate during endorsement, they are there for the personal money you give them, and they are being coordinated. Some of them that went to Chibi House yesterday, many of them, don't be surprised, we are there for the money. They hope that at the end of the day they will get 10,000, 5,000, possibly, who knows. And if you call for rallies, you see the same set of people going from one rally to the same people going for different political parties rallies. We've seen this over time. But the key thing on what happened yesterday was a case whereby this very particular rally was organized by these KK people and then transporters. Before now, they do join the ones organized by the political party. They make their presence felt and get involved in whatever that is going on there. But in this case, what happened yesterday was where they organize it themselves.
So
that's what happened.
Is there an element of the hand of the coordinator of the transporters in Anambra State? Maybe he was the one who was the one pulling the stunt.
Even if he's the one pulling the stunt, it's not easy. One, because for you to put people, for them to leave what they are doing at that point in time, leave their operations, leave their business to come out, it's not even an easy task. Because you must have an influence. And the expectation of those people, what they expect to gain from. If they hate you, if they don't like you, let me say this, there are people that you ask them to come out for such endorsement, you will see few people going for it, you see majority not going for it, because of whatever they feel about a person or whatever they feel about a party. But situation where you saw such crowd yesterday, as you said, because I wasn't there, but I've seen the social media videos about what happened yesterday, the crowd was massive. For you to see such crowd being pulled, there are a lot of factors that made it possible. Then the belief they have either for the person who is campaigning and also the system and what they think they will gain from that rally yesterday. So it's a combination of different factors.
Okay, so let's wrap up this very conversation with the announcement which was made by the governor of Anambra State. I was about to play that very audio, but for us to manage time better, he said, I've heard the complaints, and henceforth any violation should not be sanctioned with more than 10,000 naira, and it must be paid into the government account. So how do we see this happening? Don't forget that in 2003, that was the time we had similar complaints about how traffic offenders were being charged 50,000 naira, and the governor responded saying that any traffic offense should not be sanctioned with more than 5,000 naira. Now this time around, he has said 10,000 naira. So how are we sure that this is going to be followed by those who are on the street enforcing this thing? As I'm talking to you now, I have in my mind those who are at the DMJs.
Yeah, I don't know if most of them are at rally yesterday, and then those, because why the rally was going on, I'm not aware. That's Atma, because these are agencies of government. You have Onta, that is Onitsha North Traffic Authority. You have Atma, Anambra State Road Traffic Management Agency, and other agencies of government. I don't know if they were part or they were in that very rally when the governor made that very statement. And this is not the first time the governor has said something of such nature. There have been times where he said that there will be a flat rate of 5,000 naira for any traffic offense. I remember when they were becoming nuisance, those who were managing traffic, they turned up to be a monster, and in a way to prevent road accidents or road crashes, they were causing road crashes, and we saw the videos. And in fact, they had no signs, they had no map or weird commuters, passengers, or transporters, or those who are on different lanes where they should stop. So they will even lure you to violate. Sometimes they will drive against traffic. You follow them to drive, they will now hold you. But you saw them driving against traffic, but you never knew that they were the ones. So it's a way to lure you. So for them, it was a money-making venture for them, and which is not what it's supposed to be. The idea of paying fines for violating public rules should be for corrective measure, not for business or revenue making venture as we have currently. And that was, I think it was when the outcry was loud, the governor disengaged these people, side, asked them not to operate. They should go and do road signs or mark every road. How would you tell a driver that he's not supposed to pass this point where there is nothing on ground that shows that he should stop before that very point? No road marks, and you are busy making money from people. I think it was at that point he stopped that for I think 3 months or thereabout, and asked the Atma to go and do proper road signs and road marks. And they did something. In fact, some of these road marks and the signs they have done, these things have also faded now. So there is need for them to go and redo it again. I don't know the kind of paint they use. That is one. And secondly, that it was at that point that he reduced it to 5,000 for every offense. But it happens that those who are collecting this money in practice, they don't obey it. I wouldn't say all of them. Majority of them don't obey it. They collect as high as 10,000. Even when governor said 5,000. So there are those that also collect 15,000. They will tell you that this offense is a bigger offense, this one is a minor offense, but the governor said flat rates.
And they will even say that it's better for you to pay at the spot, because when they get to the office, it's going to be increased.
I said many times it wouldn't take us more or cost us more to have body camera for those who serve public. I've said it and I'll keep saying it. Everybody who serves the public must have a body camera. These things are not expensive. For crying out loud, you can't serve public either by holding gun, or anybody who does a public service should have a body. If you don't, if you go to UK, if you go to Germany, they have body cameras. Somebody is monitoring, evaluating performance in a particular control room unknown to them, because somebody who is monitoring, you don't even know the person. And the idea where the governor will sit in his office, look at this system, he sees what is happening in Onitsha. Look at this system, he sees what is happening in Oka. Look at this system, he sees what is happening in Kulobia. Look at this system, he sees. He look at the roads. He has systems planted in his office. He can be in office and see things, and see. When people make these complaints, he'll be able to. Anyone he sees or maybe that gets his attention, he knows what to do. See, we should digitize public service, monitor performance, and then when you know you are monitored, I've said it many times here, if you know that you are being monitored, that camera is seeing or your superior is seeing you, you will tend not to engage in illegality as you would want to. Okay. You would tend not to. So it's a right step in the right direction, and governor should ensure that this statement he makes, that it should be maybe 10,000, no offense, no matter the offense. Should be more than 10,000. Most times a car will break down. Instead of this, traffic agencies assisting you to see where you can park your car, because a car that has broken down, there's nothing you can do about it. But they will end up extorting from you. See, these things are the bad eggs we have in our system, and we must do everything possible to weed them out of the system.
Of course, we must do everything possible. Just like what I saw yesterday at Oka around 6 p.m. At Aroma Junction, and I saw this very Atma guy, already at that Aroma, they have a park where you go to load. If you're going towards a Koka, you have your park. If you're going towards it, you have your park. But these guys, because it was 6 p.m., they were now coming to the road where they had been banned, and they were loading. Get what this guy was doing. He just drive, park, he goes to you, collect his 100 naira, goes to the next person. So these kind of people who are mounted to do this very enforcement, government must pick them and deal with them decisively, because government cannot have a policy and then the enforcers will become the problem. Now, let me end this with an information which was put out by an aide to the governor, talking about Ambassador Diche, because he said that from what happened yesterday, that they are now expecting Anambra State Ministry of Transport through ATMA to release a comprehensive circular outlining the specific fines for each traffic offense under this new 10,000 naira cap which governor announced yesterday. So by the time it's done, we should also expect, if it means to even print a flyer and give it to this very tricycle rider for them to paste on their tricycles, so that when you violate any offense and somebody wants to extort you, you should be able to know how much you were expected to pay for that very offense.
And then where you are also paying, not even how much you are expected to pay, the account you are paying. The account should be on that very flyer. I agree with you, Franklin, where there should be a flyer with every keke driver or tricycle, as we call them, should have this flyer pasted, the offenses and the amount and the account number that will be there. It will be government account number. And I know many of them would like to compromise at spot, because if you know that you are going to pay 10,000, you would rather give the person who possibly cashes you with 3,000 naira. At least you have a gain. That is it, because they will try to compromise at the spot, and for them to compromise, they have made a gain of 3,000. Maybe if they have to pay 6,000, they give you 3,000 at the spot, and the person giving 3,000 puts it inside his pocket. But camera will not allow that. When you have a body camera, and then your engagement with the person we seen, and if you told the person come out at the ukumango, there is a ukumango or there is uku popo, or where it will be hidden, the camera will still see you there. I don't know why we don't do things like that in this country.
So I think it's also a very good idea. We might possibly have a portion of these people who cluster the roads sent to the control rooms, because this is one of the reasons we have a lot of them on the road, and sometimes I wonder why they are not deployed to assist in other fields. I shared the story of how there was a huge congestion sometime last 2 weeks, and they were busy clustered somewhere waiting for traffic light to blink red, so they will catch someone. Why not share yourselves? Take them to other departments where they can be of more use, probably to the monitoring room. Franklin, I was also wondering if this new fine, if it applies to also private vehicle drivers.
Of course, it's not just for commercial drivers. Breaking of a traffic offense or traffic rule is breaking a traffic rule, irrespective of who does that, whether you a commercial driver or you a private driver. So it applies to everyone.
My concern, the one we should look at is where these people cluster the road at 6 p.m. If you go to Mbo Junction, the roads will be very free as we speak now, but let it be 6 p.m. And we must find a way to get those involved. So it's not about once it's 6 p.m. everything stops. No, it cannot be. First, the enforcers should also work till 10 p.m. Yes, why not? Until we have maybe a system, a digital system, a robotism that helps us do these kind of things without human beings being involved.
All right, so that will be all on this very conversation or this very issue. Once we come back from this very break, it's going to be a beam on what is happening in Enugu State today, because the governor of Enugu State is officially moving into the APC, and like I have explained before, that the National Working Committee of APC, the members have emptied themselves into Enugu State. In fact, somebody even told me that they were treated to a very sumptuous meal by somebody last night. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
One man day, a man with the world sabi, a man with Nigerians sabi, a man with Indian Ambra sabi. Now a man man of the people. We get compassion, we they feel the people. Man we trust and we get experience. Man we don't determine to do good for him people. That man na Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR, Olwa Twegu, Odenebuagwata no Rumba. He don't change everywhere and everything for Anambra with him helele programs and projects, free education, free antenatal and free delivery services, youth employment in Yafu, better road network plus urban regeneration, security. Me and my family don't they close our two eyes they sleep now. This not the legacy of man. We get vision. We carry the survival and progress of him people put for head. No prize amo. Vote the Soludo Ibezim ticket on November 8, 2025. Vote for continuity and more development. Make the solution continue. Apga Onyaga na one mayor. Vote Okuko.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread, for your family breakfast. Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, Mama, Papa, they like Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, even children, they like Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, Wendy's bread, get it better, tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread, Wendy's your Wendy's bread, champion.
Wendy's bread, your tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tani Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
People of Upo and the entire Anambra State, get ready for a life-changing apostolic invasion. It's Upo Citywide Crusade, powered by Upo Christian Association, with the Restoration Apostle Johnson Suleiman, live in Anambra State. A divine awakening for signs and wonders. Come and witness the mighty miracles of God in a prophetic atmosphere like never before. Upo Citywide Crusade. Theme: the Lord, He is God. It will also feature anointed songs ministrations by Ambassador Chinyere Udoma and Minister Adrian Alex. The date is Tuesday, 28th of October at 4 p.m. and Wednesday, 29th of October 2025 at 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. And it will be happening live at Walter Eze Memorial Secondary School Field, former Boys Secondary School, opposite All Saints Anglican Church, Upo Dunukofia Local Government Area of Anambra State. For inquiries, call 0903-952-1048 or 0806-297-8399. Please note that there will be free transportation to the crusade ground. Upo Citywide Crusade. Come in faith and you shall see the power of God.
Idemili not kweno akalaka elugo ọgbaka idemili not maka ịkwado Chukwuma Soludo ka ọ chịa nke ugboro abụọ njinji ga-eji Idemili not mega endorsement rally for Governor Soludo ọ ga-akpọtụ n'ụbọchị Wednesday nkwọ na ama egwuregwu n'ụka Catholic bụ St. Alphonsus didebere kemkpọ. Idemili not niile ekwugo na ọchịrị mma ga-achị ọzọ rụpụtanụ n'ikwe n'ụbọchị nkwọ Wednesday 15th October 2025 elekere iri nke ụtụtụ. Idemili not kasị n'ọnụọgụ na ndị na-atụ vootu na Anambra ejiri igbo agwụ ya onye ọcha. Wednesday nkwọ October 15 elekere iri nke ụtụtụ na St. Alphonsus Catholic Church Mkpọ. Ndị binyere aka n'ọkwa bụ Ochendo Stanley Nkwọka, Mayor Idemili not na Barrister Ralph Nnabuife bụ onye na-achịkọba emume a. Wednesday St. Alphonsus Mkpọ 10 ụtụtụ ọ gara ka nja ka ifusi ade nwanne.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic. From the commercial city of Onitsha comes Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region, where authentic news and entertainment meet. Udala Radio 104.7 FM, seriously authentic.
You're listening to The Polity. Get involved now.
Alright, so thank you for staying tuned to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. You are listening to the Polity on the Seriously Authentic radio station. My name is Franklin Ebuka, Olisa Mbeki and Chisom Chinedu. All of us are together on this very conversation. So we told you about the endorsement rally that happened in Onitsha yesterday, where transport operators endorsed the governorship bid for Governor of Anambra State. Now let's go to Enugu State, where the governor is said to decamp to the APC, and I said that the members of the APC National Working Committee that are already in Enugu State for this very day, from what we gathered, Vice President is going to be there, Senate President is going to be there, Speaker of the House of Reps, APC National Chairman, members of National Working Committee, about 15 governors of the APC, and many APC members are going to be there for them to welcome Governor Peter Mba into the APC fold. And yesterday there was cabinet meeting. At that cabinet meeting, members of his cabinet all pledged that they are going to join him in APC. In fact, many of them resigned from PDP yesterday. Yesterday here we announced that Udala resigned from PDP, but he hasn't announced where he will be heading to. PDP chairman in Enugu State, Dr. Chukwuemeka, also resigned from PDP yesterday. And from what we gathered, all the aides of the governor are going to join him in the APC, just like the way it happened in Delta State. We also gathered that local government chairman might as well follow him to the APC. So that simply means that the governor will be going to the APC with the entire structure of PDP in Enugu State. And my question is this Otilo for PDP in the Southeast? Is it the end of PDP in the Southeast, Tony?
That marks the exit of PDP in Southeast. Once a loving party, once a party with that unique umbrella, and the umbrella seems to have been torn into shreds. And that is more like singing Nunc Dimittis. And that's exactly what is going on as far as PDP is concerned in the Southeast. Everything has a beginning, equally and surely has an end. There is the time for this and there is time for that. It's all over, and it's obviously all over for People's Democratic Party in the Southeast, and it's going to be so in the entire southern part of Nigeria, because as we are speaking, Diri Doye is warming up to be next to leave PDP and join APC. As Diri Doye finishes joining, because he's the only man remaining apart from the governor of Rivers State, Fubara. Right now you can't say Fubara is in PDP or if he's in APC. You cannot even say. But you can only say that he was elected on the platform of PDP and he has not made a formal defection. So by the time the Doye and the Fubara joins their brother governors, it will be the end of PDP in the entire southern part of the country, where it was once its own stronghold. PDP has not treated Southeast fairly. Southeast, the kind of support they had given to PDP, in fact, was enough for a Southeasterner to become the candidate of the party in a presidential election that PDP denied Southeast. That's one. We know very well that as Diri Doye gets involved, Abu Kefas of Taraba State is also joining APC. Taraba State has been a PDP state for a very long time. From the time of Reverend Jolly Nyeme to the time of Kefas Abu, it has been PDP. But it's all over again. The question is, what happened to PDP? And there is this saying that he whom the gods has decided to destroy, he will first make what? Mad. That's exactly what is going on. And PDP, remember when I shouted here on this very platform that PDP is dead? And many felt, he may not be speaking well of the party. And remember when I said earlier on here, many months ago, that Mba will join APC. I remember saying it here. Did it happen? And even when I also shouted that Governor of Delta State, Oborowori, and Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Eno, will be joining APC. When these things, before they happen, we did say some of these things here. So it tells you a lot about PDP. Everybody should learn from PDP. In fact, in business, in social life, in family life, learn from PDP. If you want to describe PDP, how would you describe a PDP? There are very good poetic piece of we've seen where people have written about PDP. Once blossoming, shining like a sunflower, has turned out to be a tree without shades, or a tree without a tree, just a lone tree that is at the point of being buried. PDP has left Southeast, and if you look at it, some of them that came on the platform of PDP, what did they bring to Southeast?
Because I was going to ask you, when you talk about the survival of a party, you look at the things that possibly they can be remembered with, the things that people should look forward to, or people would say, without this party we would be missing, or we would be losing out on. And so the question is, yesterday we talked about people from the Southeast who held certain crucial positions at the legislative arm of government. We had Senate presidents back to back at some point, mostly under the PDP. What was the impact these people were able to make in the Southeast? And so the PDP leaving the Southeast, does it make any difference? And I'm also wondering, is this not drawing us closer? Maybe not entirely a one-party system, but from the look of things, it looks like only one party or two parties as it is now, with the PDP strongly crumbling. The two biggest contenders now are the ADC and the APC. The LP would have had some chances, but with the fact that they've not been able to fix their internal national crisis, they are still third place. All right, they would have been fourth placed, but the PDP is gradually winding down. Do you think that somehow in the future there is still hope for the PDP?
There is no hope for PDP as far as future is concerned in Southeast. Just like I said earlier on, once the Southeast sang PDP's name in hymns of hope. In fact,
hope.
Yes, in the hymns of hope.
Did they deliver?
PDP colors fluttered like Dawn's promise, with all manner of deceit, chicanery, and PDP were the rhythms in Southeast ballots. The banner in Southeast brings forth the covenant of faith sealed in the hearts of the people of Southeast. But time, that honest judge unmasked PDP's deceit, and the songs turned into sighs in broken towns. Once loved like the rain in planting season, PDP now shone like a storm that floods the harvest. It is all over. We say goodbye to PDP, and that is what it is. And for those who may not like him by moving to APC, he has no option.
And funny enough, that this feeling in the South is that people of the Southeast do not like APC. But if you check the media, you see that there are some persons who were already commending him for deciding to, pitch his tent to the APC. Take for instance, a part of Ohaneze has done that. There are some traditional rulers who have commended him for doing that. And some other political stakeholders in the Southeast have said, Mba, you have done the right thing that you're supposed to do. But what I want us to look at now before we get to the other thing is, I read what Deji Adeyanju wrote, and I had so many questions in my head. Now, Adeyanju, he wrote on Facebook, and I'm going to quote him. He said, "Since I was born, I have never seen this kind of complete annihilation of the opposition before. Almost all the 36 state governors now in APC. I hope there will be opposition in 2031. And I'll be asking myself, what is that thing that Mr. President is getting right, that is making all the governors to dobale and try to align with him? Is it that he's doing well with his governance policies, governance style, and what have you not? Is it that his governance is on the right trajectory? Is it that the governors are afraid of his political brutality? Maybe if they're not aligned, they might be annihilated or might be forced to be out of political relevance. Or is it that this is normal behavior of politicians, that normally they always tend to align with government at the center? So what can you say is actually happening?
What is happening is just like what happened during the APC primaries. In fact, during the primaries, Tinubu was the first aspirants that all the aspirants stepped down for at the major primaries. If we look at the number of people who stepped down for him to emerge as president, that tells you how politically he is as a person. And if he has followed that with his level of engagement in the entire Southeast, I don't think there is any state he has not visited. He has visited Anambra State, he has visited Imo State, he has visited Abia State. In fact, that of Abia State, he did not go in person. He sent the vice president because he was indisposed. And I don't know if he has visited Ebonyi State. And the way he engages those who are not even in his camp. And he had made sure that the governors have enough money to work with. And that's why he removed the fuel subsidy. And many governments or state governments now receive 3 or 4 times the amounts they were receiving before now. And we're able to do projects. And his kind of politics we implanted Wike in PDP to destroy whatever that is left of PDP. And Wike has perfectly done that. And PDP could not remove the virus as it were. And he allowed it to consume it. And some would say, why everything seems to be going for Mr. President because of the way and manner judiciary has been battered. That the part of the problem happening in the Labour Party, where some of these governors may even have Labour as an option, judiciary has not helped Labour Party. As we speak today, it didn't make a concrete pronouncement on the leadership of the party, saying it's internal party affairs, and 2 people struggling to claim the same thing without even making a definite statement on who is the leader or what the party should do as far as the leadership crisis is all about. And look at what we said yesterday. No FCT church will live in a rented apartment. Is it the duty of the minister to start building houses for judges when you know you have matters littering in some of their courtrooms?
Let's even look at that.
It's a very disturbing scenario.
Let's even look at that. Who should be building houses for judges? Because we've often sat on this platform and discussed housing scheme for different public office holders. I mean, different civil servants, because judges are also, at this point, still civil servants, right? And so, whose duty is it to make sure that they are properly housed? And where Wike is coming from, is it in terms of collaborating with the persons this is supposed to be their duty, or some sort of favor being done to these judges?
If you ask whose duty it is to build houses for judges, and we know very well, if you are talking about federal courts like Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, Federal High Courts, National Industrial Courts, we know very well that this is handled through the National Judicial Council, which oversees the welfare, appointments, and administration of the judiciary at the federal level. But we've seen situations where federal government will make such proposal in the budget, but the money will be domiciled in the councils, and where the council overtakes such exercise.
So
not necessarily
does not deliver.
I think what Wike is trying to do is he is trying to dabble into the territory he's not welcomed. He's trying to dabble into jurisdiction he shouldn't even dabble in the first instance. And being that this NJC has not been able to deliver some of these things we are talking about, the houses, and if he felt like, why would they be living in a rented apartment? I can do this. We can do this. We can see. Why doing that? You are making judiciary not to be independent. When you say that somebody is independent, somebody who is independent does not depend on anybody for anything. If you give me food, shelter, accommodation, I'm not more independent.
So can we trace the problem to the fact?
No. You can't say that judiciary is independent when the FCT minister goes on to build what measure their independence?
How can he be stopped?
Can we trace this? Just to add to it, can we trace this to the fact that, in as much as it is said that the money due to judiciary should go to them as a first line charge, but in actuality we hardly have that happening. Is it where we're going to treat this very imbroglio to?
If you say yes, it is somehow, because I have said it here many times that we must ensure that there is complete separation of powers. Judiciary should have their own budget, just as the National Assembly have their own budget. We saw National Assembly being rehabilitated the other time. Did anybody say the president was doing that? Or they should be allowed to do their own thing. That tells you how independent they are.
Can we get it stopped?
But it can. I thought it's as a matter of policy. If I were to be the president, I will introduce not just executive order, but I will introduce a bill ensuring that no member of the executive does anything for judiciary or even the National Assembly.
What if they do without announcing?
Definitely the law will spell out punishment. The person involved will be sacked, resign, and then fix his trial.
The problem is this: if you sit down with lawyers who want to tell the truth off camera, and you hear things that happen in judiciary, and how people get favors, how judges are nominated, you might go into your closet and begin to cry till forever, knowing that there's maybe the salvation might be too far from us.
What, this is not just a Nigerian thing. I think that's even why the Englishman has the word nepotism in his dictionary in the first place. And so, for a country like Nigeria, where the judiciary is battered as it is at the moment, maybe the legislature, the legislative arm of government, might want to come up with legislations that would, put sort of what I call it, limits to these things. Yes, they would need to limit some of these things, especially since these people are, holding very, very cushion and fragile offices.
I think we may get into a jury system. That is what is practiced. You mentioned the UK, and then probably I have to remind you that in United Kingdom they practice the jury system, which is more like a legal practice where ordinary citizens, not professional judges, are choosing to decide the outcome of a case, especially in criminal trials. And if for them it is a key feature of common law. And even you have Canada, United States of America, United Kingdom, they practice jury system where ordinary citizens are randomly selected to decide the outcome of cases. And if you look at the meaning of that jury, which is a group of citizens, usually from 6 to 12 people, selected from the public to hear evidence during the trial and decide whether the accused is guilty or not guilty based on the facts presented. And that is why someone like former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu is in prison. Jury convicted him. Ordinary citizens selected randomly. Because if it is seen that these judges collect gifts, collect items, they are giving accommodation, they are giving utility, payments and all that, they won't be independent to adjudicate. And jury comes in there. So right. We may begin to think in that direction,
because that independence of judiciary is quite like it's like something very, very quite elusive. Because sometimes you imagine how our judges let's even start with state. How are judges appointed? You'll be told on paper that NJC makes nomination of 3 persons, blah 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 blah, and blah 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 blah. But guess what? In actual thing, what happened? People recommend. People recommend. I say this person can make a good job. This person can do this and do this. This is my son. This is my brother. This is my cousin, and it gets to the governor's desk. And guess what? Somebody gets appointed. Even somebody who does not even know too much about the law, or somebody who is even by ranking, the person is not supposed to get that kind of nod. But it happens in our system because we have vested so much power in the executive that the executive controls virtually everything in government.
And one thing about us is this: some people will tell you that it is attitudinal change, and I've always denounced and debunked something like that. We are a minister, a state governor, builds house, gift judiciary, cars. When Wike was a governor, he was giving them cars as if it were birthday cakes. And you expect the same judiciary to be independent, and where he has matters before him Come on, let's be serious in this country.
All right, so we're going to throw up the next line of conversation and then open the phone lines for you. It's all about the National Assembly making a move to shift the date for 2027 general election, because what the National Assembly is proposing, among the amendment proposed to the 2022 Electoral Act, is that the 2027 presidential and gubernatorial election should be moved to November 2026, other than around that February, March that we normally have it of the year of the election. They are saying that if it's going to come 6 months before the election or before the swearing in, that is going to allow time for the court to deal with all election matters before anybody is sworn in, so that once somebody is sworn in, the person concentrates on governance. But for the opposition, this has divided them. As some are saying it's good for us, some are saying it is not good for us. It's going to put them in disadvantaged position to prepare for the next election. So open the phone line for you to join us as we go in between. We bring in the analysis on this very issue. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Don't forget that we are live on our Facebook page, and you can drop your comments on that very Facebook page. Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Dr. Buji is my name.
Okay. Where are you calling from?
After Nawada.
All right, go on, sir.
Yeah, I've been hearing all the analysis. Well done.
Thank you so much.
All we have been saying all along, majority of it has been coming like the prophecy of Nnamdi Kanu. The basic of all the whole thing matters that Nigeria never want an Igbo man to be there at the end of our faith. And what actually is happening with these governors that are rushing in, actually you see what happened to PDP. It was just Owunke at the fundamental level that crashed PDP, and with the help of Tinubu. Now other governors are trying to save their own let them beat. If they don't go there, it will happen like a those states. If they don't go there, it will happen like Bayelsa. And most of them are being promised, like Rocha Sokocha and Hope of them. But they are being promised, I will give you deputy vice president. I will give you this. I will give you that. At last, nothing will happen. So, no tribe in Nigeria wants an Igbo man to be on top. What they could make it to PDP by now, I shouldn't expect that PDP could have been handling Igbo people anyhow. But it is happening because all of them collectively hate Igbo people. And you see what is happening in Lagos. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for joining. The phone lines are there for you to join us. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning to Franklin at the studio. Dr. Olisa Mbeki, good morning.
You're welcome.
I'm calling from Onitsha.
Go on, DK.
Most times you look at Nigerian politicians and I laugh. If Nigerians can go the way of Madagascar, the way of Nepal, even the junta, that show me people won't be bothering themselves whether your vote counts or whether your vote doesn't count. Because the politicians don't mean well for you. Okay? Now, the APC that most of these governors is defecting to, what actually have they done in this country that makes them to be defecting to those political parties? Because these governors want to come back for second tenure. That is why they are defecting, and they know that your vote doesn't count. That is why they are defecting, taking the power from the federal. So I think, most times you must have to say it the way it is. I think Nigerians should, for the fact that we went for NSAS and it went the way, and doesn't mean that we cannot do any other protest. Today, we are talking about two states in the Middle East, which I don't see the reality of it about over 100 nations have strong support for a Palestinian state. But the possibilities, I think, and that's the result of the pressure being mounted by Palestinians. They keep on doing protests in UK, in US, in France, everywhere in the world. So for the fact that we went for NSAS and it went the way it went, doesn't mean that you have to sit back. Nigerians are not getting it funny. So I think, and these politicians, the likes of Abadio, look at them, he just took one senator, just one senator to actually say that, passed a bill that Nigeria was recognized as a country of particular concern in the U.S. Just a senator. Now, these people are gathering in Enugu for fun. Just to catch fun. Nothing more, nothing less. Because your fellow Nigerian politician is defecting. That is why you left your basic thing you're supposed to do. And you are coming down to Enugu here. Just because of defection. So I think Nigerians are being taken for granted. And if Nigerians should go the way of Nepal, the way of Madagascar, the way of Burkina Faso or Mali, actually, things will be uhuru.
All right.
Okay? I overheard a policeman who was saying that when they were escorting politicians to go and hide money in their village. Now you are feeling the heat. When people are protesting, you keep shooting at them. Now you are also feeling the heat. So I just want to give a piece of advice to Nigerians. The most important thing to do, think outside the box, because what these men are doing, they want to install themselves in power in perpetuity.
All right.
Look at Sheikh Tinubu, one of becoming the next governor of Lagos State. Even when the father has become a governor.
DK, that will be all.
See, this is the kind of thing you keep seeing in this country.
All
Very
right.
unfortunate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, DK, for joining. Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear us? Okay, I think we'll have to take another person's call. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Good morning.
Good morning, my husband, Olisa Mbeki, Franklin and Chisom.
You're welcome.
Michael, you get on the line, calling from the commercial city of Onitsha this very good morning.
Go on, Michael.
I proceed. Let me check on the headline about what happened yesterday at Cuba Stadium.
Okay.
Abuga are doing their best to make sure that the GNC comes November 8, 2025. So welcome development. But let us not be carried away. Because for me, that thing that happened yesterday, the governor making an empty promises that he cannot fulfill. Last time I had him, he said 5,000 naira for those who failed to abide by the rules and regulations of traffic. Yesterday, for 10,000 naira. That is just a fluke. In football, we call it a fluke. You ask Jose Mourinho, he will say that it's a fluke. If the business is mine, you just call it, Nilo for veterancy. Let's just be going on. So we should be carried that if we allow Apoga to come in comes November 8th, let me tell you, those people that you saw yesterday, tricycles and motorists, those people are the agents of keke riders. They are not the real keke riders. Because if you are the real keke riders, they will show you that what they are seeing today is more painful, more harmful about what they saw before when they are witnessing today. The taxes is too much. The levy is too much upon them. Imagine if you're a keke rider and you park your keke, maybe somebody died from your hand and you went for burial, you spend 2 or 3 months. You will be paid when you come back to work, you will pay for that 3 months that you are not working. What kind of government are we practicing? So it's quite unfortunate that Africa are using this opportunity maybe to pave way for the second tenure of this Governor Charles Soludo.
All right.
It's not the right call.
All right, thank you.
Make a U-turn and make the right choice at the right time. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you for joining. Hello, good morning. Who do we have here? Hello? Can you hear us? Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Udala FM.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
I agree to you.
Good morning.
Ifan is calling from Awada.
Go on, Mr. Ifani.
Okay. What I want to speak is on the rally that goes on here today.
Good.
You know, that rally, I must tell you, it's not safe to rule for Apuga. Let no one be carried over or carried away by what the Mama Kadu saw yesterday. But I must tell you, sometimes when the Christian is vying for governorship, many people are following him, telling him, hey, Gabago. That is Igbo mantra they used to use to the politicians. But after much, when the election comes, they not come second. Because most of them don't have the voter's card. So don't be surprised that Mama Kadu we saw yesterday The 80% of them may not even have the voter's card. So, and I must tell you that they are all paid for them to be there. So, it should not be carried away. Then, coming to Nigerian politicians, in fact, only God will save the masses of this country because they don't have anything good for us. They are only wanting to second term bill. That's their own concern. The Nigerian masses, it's not in their concern at all. They don't have anything in mind for us. What they are having is for them and their people and their next generations unborn. But I know that God one day will do something great in this country that everybody is marveled. And it's not far. It must come.
All right.
So may God help us.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your submission. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, it's me, calling from Umbo.
Could you say a name one more?
Yeah, I don't know when we are going to be serious in this country. What is Mr. Wike talking about? Building houses for the judges. Is there any judge in Nigeria that does not have a house? Why can't we be just in this country? This is another way to make these people to blindfold them in giving correct judgment. They said, and secondly, by joining PDP, joining APC, sorry, I don't think it's a good move. There's nothing you can do about it because PDP is already dead. And by now, Mr. Wike should be happy for what's happening in PDP. Then thirdly, I have to congratulate Mr. Soludo for doing the needful. I support Tony on what Tony said about giving these government officials, those people that are working on the road, make sure that there's no traffic or enforcing traffic. They should give them body cameras. These guys are very corrupt. The things they are doing in the field is terrible. It should be checkmate. They should have a room where they are taking them because they are doing work in the field. So the government should look into these people and give them body cameras. It makes them. It's make them to be responsible. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for your opinion. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my speaker, Johnny Becky.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Okay. What's your name, please?
My name is Olisa Mbeki from our Origin Kingdom, but I'm from Memuna.
All right.
You see, I really thank the speaker for his analysis. That man, I have been following him for long. The speaker. I call him a secondary school a prophet. What all he said concerning this country comes to pass later. Coming to what happened to PDP is a serious coma. They need it. That's why they try all methods to bring a strong oxygen to revive PDP and whether you believe again. It will be a good luck shelter, but it can work. You see, the person who follows PDP is who gets a lot of harm to PDP. Let him now make way for himself to join APC. Let him train the ground for him to join APC, but PDP no more. And everybody in APC knew him as a man with a snake that with two heads. If they were finding him there, they should be careful. I learned that he had a problem. Now, because of the choice of the next chairman, is not the one that's good for you. This is easy for you. Let him rest. Let everyone work and see what will become of him in the future. He will be PEP. Thank you and none.
All right. Okay. Thank you for your opinion. Let's see who we have next here. Don't forget we are live on our Facebook page and we're going to acknowledge your post there. Good morning.
Thank you. Franklin, good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Mr. Speaker, Colin Becky, good morning.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
And Chisom Kennedy too. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Speaker, I actually follow some of the adjectives you use. A morning PDP exit in Southeast. I think what we should be mourning for here is not the death of PDP. I think what we should be mourning for is the death of democracy. Because to me, the beauty of democracy is opposition. These are the people that will hold the government of the day on a very tight corner, that will help that government to perform and deliver to the people. I don't know. Some people with both China and other countries are practicing one-party system. But when we look deeply into how their government and the people of these countries are faring, we can have our reservations on that. So I think strong words should be used to describe the death of democracy in Nigeria gradually. Because one-party system will not give me what I desired in democracy. So I am not concerned about what is happening to BDP. My concern is what is happening to our democracy. And again, people who are moving to another platform with the mandate of the people, I believe, frankly, that every one of them swore an oath not to allow their personal interest override their official conduct. But today, what are we seeing in Nigeria? I am mourning the death of democracy, not the death of any political party. Good morning.
All right, good morning. Thank you for joining. Next thing will be to find out who killed that democracy. Now, let's get to our Facebook page and see what is happening there and see who are making comment. But before then, let's take this very call quickly. Hello, good morning. Are you ready? Okay, not ready for us. Let's see if we can just squeeze in one call before we go to that very Facebook page. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
All right. Yes, your name?
Franklin and the Dr. Olisa Mbeki. Very good morning to you all. Chidi Chukuma joining you from Bo.
Go on, Chidi Chukuma.
Yeah, let me speak on this rally at Ibazu Stadium. Yes, I thank the convener and also the governor of Anambra State. The opportunity that they have to lay their complaint and the response from the governor. I say kudos to governor. I thank him for having a hearing here and also addressing that issue without to delay. But the question is that can it be enforced? Because this is an environment where we have very smart criminals. Because the Tony is talking about this body camera, which work in some jurisdiction. But can it work here in Nigeria? Because if you go to such a jurisdiction, there is nothing like a bribery. Nobody gives bribe and nobody takes. And that is why it usually works there. Because here in this place we have smart people. Even a hawker or a woman that is selling akara somewhere near them can be collecting money from them just to avoid any dictation. This is the kind of the criminal that we have in this environment. And also for the governor, this issue that he has raised, this is not the first time. It's just sounding as if this is the first time that he said that no payment should be made, any cash payment or pay in a private post. That for quite long, this thing has not been working because the system and the kind of the people that we are dealing with, this is the people that have been in that business for a very long time. They are very rich, and the people that he employs, they educate them on how to smart the government. Even 60% of the revenue in Anambra State is in a private force. And there is nothing government can do about that because most of the agents are the people that are very close to them.
All right.
The people that are party people, party members, very strong party members, they are reaping where they did not sow. And the government can do nothing about that because they have already known how to smart the government.
All right, Chidi Chukuma, that will be all.
That is something. Let government know how to enforce it. It's not talking and talking and talking.
All right, thank you. Thank you. That has been noted. Let's quickly go to our Facebook page.
All right, at Udala Radio 104.7 FM. That's our Facebook handle. Anthony Umera, we see you. Okwe S. JP, he says, in respect to tricycle riders in Onitsha, we still thank God because few of them have driver's license, no orientation, and some groups have fake licenses from computer. No monitoring. Places like Jos and other parts of the north, tricycle drivers never know that they'll be given driver's license. My concern in Onitsha with tricycle and government, let there be security number boldly written on the body of the tricycle. Okay. April Sunrise, we see you, Clement Odife. My contribution may not be part of your discussion this morning, but he says he saw a post where YPP candidate is doing a palliative work on Aguleri Ayamelum Road. What is Oluwasegun doing about that road? And also, when is the dualization of the Oka Road and Uguta Road beginning? Also, Francis Nnamani. Good morning to you too. Stephen Okeziobika from Germany. He says, if not for corruption, why on earth should the executive arm of government build houses for judges in the judicial arm of government? They are simply trying to compromise the judges ahead of the 2027 general elections. Basil Ugu, Peter Obi's defection opened the wound, but Yeso Wike buried the PDP out of greed and ambition. He traded the soul of the party for personal gains. Now the PDP he used to bargain with is gone. Nothing left to sell, nothing left to stand on. Watch him carefully. His new target is the judiciary, his next tool of negotiation. Power may shift, but conscience never forgets. PDP, Wike, the judiciary. Sebastian Abigwe says it is unfortunate regarding to what's happening in the political space. Most times we are too quick to... Oh my god, I think... Okay, I'd need to put those comments again. But before I go over to yours... also, Francis Nnamani says the federal government should kindly review her no work, no policy on striking ASU members and rather apply dialogue as the best option. Maole Bara says that we reject one-party system in this country. Democracy is meaningless if there is no opposition. Greed and avarice are the root causes of all these defections. We cannot kill the opposition in this country because their roles are indispensable. We all cannot belong to one political party because if we do, who then will question the government of the day and hold it accountable? If everybody joins one political party, who will check the excesses of the ruling party? Who then will act firmly on behalf of the common man and fight for their common interests and grievances? Let the kite perch and the eagle too. Also, Francis, I took your comment earlier. Gochiko Frank, why threaten them with no work, no pay when you guys can easily do the necessary? FG knows what they want. Why don't you do it and tell them what you can afford and come to a compromise rather than threatening? Gochilo Okoye, his take is on the religious leaders rejecting US's claim on genocide attack. We didn't talk about that today, so I'm just going to let your comment slide. I am sorry. John Ungbe says he feels reluctant to say that the Nigerian judiciary for now has since become an extension of Wike's political camp. Wike automatically get what he wants from the judiciary. Whatever Wike desires anything, all he does is seek an injunction from any of the constituencies of the judiciary, and the injunction is automatically granted. Today, Wike is the de facto leader of the PDP, which he administers as a sole proprietor, and in summary, his decision to annul or scuttle or abort the upcoming national convention of the PDP must succeed because the judiciary will grant him the injunction. PDP is a giant with the head of a salamander or a lizard.
Okay, Alechi Benjamin says, all I can say is it pains me that there are no serious contenders in this election. And the youngest Frayu, thank you for joining. Likewise, Mazinuri Chikwado, thank you all for dropping your comments. We have to leave. Anthony, that very topic about the proposal which was made by the National Assembly for our elections to hold 6 months before the handover, I think we have to recycle it because we're out of time. So, what's your parting shot this very morning?
Just like I've always said, most times we must remove sentiment from whatever we do and state things the way they are. and then most times you may be in the minority and then make your voice sounds as if that is majority. For what is going on as far as PDP, APC is concerned, nobody is switching the country a one-party system. It is time for likes of ADC to start doing something, commit to something, and raise opposition. And you can't do anything in Nigeria without a political platform. And for the election for 6 months, I think they want to do it in such a way that all pending matters will be settled at the tribunal. Those that will get to appeal court or Supreme Court, these things settled before somebody is sworn into office. And I would also want the election to hold in just one day. It tells you a lot. There are so many things we can do to suit our peculiarities, to tame certain wastages, and at the same time optimize whatever we are looking out for. So it's also important. And also would also want to advise opposition in Anambra State election. This thing is looking as if it's a walkover. Opposition, you need to do something. From the look of things, it looks as if it's a walkover, but you have to make it competitive. That's all I have to say.
All right, Chisom.
Well, do your best to be, as a Nigerian, to bring about the Nigeria you desire. The government would not do everything, cannot actually do everything.
So on that very note, we thank you all for listening, and don't forget that, of course, just like Chisom said, you have to play your part if you want the country to become better. Because for me, 2 wrongs can never make it right. If they're getting it wrong and you join in getting it wrong, where is justification? My name is Franklin Ebuka. Good morning.